this episode of the Engaging Marketeer, I'm going to be looking at one of my goals that I successfully completed yesterday, because I'm recording this on the 5th of April, and yesterday on April the 4th, I successfully delivered a TEDx talk at the University of Chester, and it was absolutely fantastic. It was more than I ever thought it would be. I'd always wanted to do this. It's always been a goal of mine to deliver a TEDx. And I had tried a few times to do TEDx talks. I'd applied to a couple of different TEDx events, but I didn't quite make the final selection. But yesterday for the University of Chester, I delivered my TEDx talk, and it was quite frankly, it was brilliant. I can't stress enough how cool it was. I am really excited to see the video when it eventually gets edited by the university, sent over to TED, and goes live on the TEDx website on YouTube, because they've got something like 40 million subscribers, which is a frightening concept. But what happened was, on the morning of the day, I had to go along to be there for the start, because I was second up, and I was due to go on to do my talk at 10:20. But the guy on before me was one of the professors from Chester University, and he told me the day before that he wasn't going to be taking the full 18 minutes. He said, I'm going to be in and out really, really quick. I'm going to be off because I've got stuff to do. So they knew I was going to be basically going on early. They were going to be ahead of schedule. So I had to be there extra early and prepared and get mic'd up to be ready to go on. And backstage at the TED event in Chester, it was, I was going to say really nerve-wracking, but actually I don't think I was that nervous. I genuinely don't think I was that nervous, because as I've always said before, I've done stand-up comedy, and I did the stand-up comedy show a couple of years ago in Tranmere Rovers football ground in Prenton Park, mainly because when I had public speaking gigs to do, that I could always say to myself, look, you've done stand-up comedy, how bad can this be? So I don't think I was that nervous, but I was always concerned about the impact that I would have. I was never worried about going on the stage for the TEDx event and actually delivering something that people would find entertaining. I was never worried about my delivery being funny or making people laugh. I was never concerned about any of that, because I knew it would be good. I knew it would be brilliant, basically. But what I was concerned about was it having value, it having impact, not just being frivolous, me making jokes and doing a bit of singing, because yes, I did sing at the beginning, and basically being a lot of comedy when I'm side by side with professors and PhD students talking about things such as the extinction of species and how to live your authentic self when the social norms tell you that you shouldn't. Really deep subjects like that. And I'm just going on talking about a TV ad that I was bullied with when I was a kid, and how I tracked a fake Facebook profile who was behind it for my son a few years ago. So I was concerned about the impact I would have. But the best thing about it was, afterwards, I got talking outside with a couple of students. One was a geography student, and the other one, he told me what he did, but I didn't even understand it when he said it. So, Kieran, if you're listening to this, I still don't really know what you're doing as a degree mate. But talking about to them about what social media holds of us, what Facebook holds of us, what TikTok holds about us, what TikTok knows about us. The fact that the algorithm on TikTok is so good that it knows exactly what you want to see. It knows exactly what you're going to stick watching. And when you're flicking up videos, it knows how to keep you hooked. And it is frightening, everything they know about us. But because we tell them, we tell TikTok everything about us by what we watch. We tell Facebook everything about us because we put that information into Facebook. We are fools to ourselves when we do this. That's why all that information is there. And it is a frightening world the way it's developing like that. But it was like I was having this really highbrow discussion with these two students, and I felt like a student again myself. And then the geography student said to me, "Are you a professional speaker?" I thought, oh, what makes you say that? He said, because the delivery I gave was so powerful. He thought I'd gone around different places, different universities, different seminars, delivering that exact talk because it was so polished. It's like, oh, mate, that's amazing. Oh, I tell you, I cannot stress how good I felt about that, how brilliant I felt about that. It was Oh, it was incredible. But then even better afterwards, this female student came up to me. She only looked about 17, 18. She's probably older than that. But she came up to me and she said to me, that was really powerful what you said. I really felt that because all throughout my school life, I'd been bullied as well. I thought, yeah, do you know, what I delivered and I was worried about it having an impact, I needn't have worried because it really did land with people. It really did resonate with people. And my own insecurity aside, thinking about whether I was going to be worthy to do a TEDx talk, because I had this wobble a couple of weeks ago, whether I was going to be worthy to do a TEDx talk, I needn't have worried about it. Because what I went through, a lot of people go through. A lot of people go through being bullied. A lot of people go through these experiences. And they don't often see people like me then stand up and talk about it and admit it and say how it made us feel and how we experienced it. Because we keep those things to ourselves. There aren't many people that will say, oh yeah, I was bullied in school. This is what they said to me. This is what happened. This is how I was picked on. But that's what I did in the TEDx talk. I went through every single detail of what it was like and the experience it was like. And the feedback I got afterwards was just exceptional. So anyone considering doing a TEDx talk, do it. Absolutely do it. Put in for it. Put in for it. I was speaking to a lady the other week who I know from one of my speaker courses. Laura, if you're listening, Laura, hi. She wants to do a TEDx talk as well, and she'd be amazing because her story is fantastic. It's so more powerful than mine. But the advice I gave to Laura was to go through all the different TEDx events that are in your area, because every single area has a different TEDx event, and they do them once a year. So, for example, round where I'm based, there's one in Manchester, there's one in Northwich, there's one in Warrington, there's one in, I think it's Sandbach. Look at all the different events and where they are. Put them all into a spreadsheet and the calendars of when they're on, and then work back as to when those events open for their speaker applications. Because to get onto a TEDx event, you have to apply for it. You have to fill in quite a lot of detail about what you're going to talk about and the impact it's going to have on people's lives. And make sure that you are putting in all of the passion and the heart and the meaning and the big idea into your application, because somebody needs to review that and then come back and say basically yay or nay whether you're going to be doing the event. And that's where I fell crop the first time. I didn't get all this passion across. I didn't get all this meaning across that my TEDx talk actually did have. And if you are going to do a TEDx event, do this. Make it like a proper application, like a job application process, because that's effectively what it is. Apply to the ones that you want to do and see where it takes you. Because let me tell you, standing on that red circle and delivering that event in that kind of environment, it's one of the greatest things I've done. It genuinely is one of the greatest things I've done. As soon as I got off, I was literally shaking. I said to them, can I go back on? Can I do that again? And that's the same kind of experience I had when I did stand-up comedy. Can I go back on? I want to do that again. It was phenomenal. It just made me feel like I belonged as a speaker. I belonged as a public speaker. And I just wanted to share that with you on this very quick podcast about my TEDx event, my TEDx experience, my TEDx journey. And don't worry, when the video does come out, when the video is uploaded by TED to their YouTube channel, which apparently can take a good 16 weeks for it to happen, so I've got to be patient. When that happens, I will share that high and wide across social media. I will share that everywhere so everybody can experience it. And I would love people's feedback on that as well, about how I did and about whether you yourself feel the experiences of being bullied are relevant to you, or the cyberbullying is relevant to you. I'd love experiences on that. So thank you very much for listening to this podcast. Please leave me a review if you can. Leave me a 5-star review. Leave me some ratings. Just tell me what you think about it. I would love to hear your feedback on this as well. And I will catch you on the next podcast.